She is synonymous with grace, style, and class, and has been photographed enjoying herself at every major social event across the globe. But behind all the glitz and glamour beats the heart of a dedicated and hard-working fundraiser and patron of the arts. Hello, I'm Ernie Manouse. Coming up on InnerVIEWS, our conversation with America's premier socialite and compassionate philanthropist, Lynn Wyatt. Should the arts be able to support themselves?
That's a good question. They should, but they never do. Because, in Europe, the government supports a lot of the arts. And in America, we don't have that. And the arts are so important, but when it gets down to what the government thinks that we actually need, maybe they don't decide to put it in their budget.
Yeah. Is it difficult in today's society, in today's day and age, to raise money for the arts? Is it becoming harder?
I think it's becoming harder, yes. But on the other hand, if it's something that it appeals to someone, that then it's easier. I always say that every charity is good. Every cause is worthy. And so you have to give someone something that they feel like they're paying their money for. Yeah. They don't want to hear why are they there. In other words, they don't need to have some screen showing them about their charity and naming names and talking about how grateful they are that people came. People are already there, so so let us have a good time.
But are the arts that people don't appreciate as much oftentimes the place where art is changing, where the important work is happening?
Like what?
Some of the fine arts in the drawings, things like that, in the paintings. I think back to the 60s when the new pop art movement came along. At that time, the established art scene probably looked the other way, saying, this is so unimportant, who needs this? And yet today it's such a pivotal part. When you get that movement in an art form, I think that's the harder place to raise the money for, but you need it for the growth of the art.
That's very true. That's very true. But also, there's always people that are going to be open to new world, new opera, new ballet, and they want only, they're attracted to that, and they want only to contribute to that. So thank heavens there are all kinds of people that make up the world.
Do you have to love the art you support personally?
Oh, absolutely. I have to love the charity that I support. I have to believe in it wholeheartedly myself before I can go out and ask anyone for 1 cent. Because I have to really believe in it with not only the theory, but where it goes, the research, et cetera, and why it's important. And that's the only way I think that you can sell something. If
we see your name then in a list of directors or board of directors on something, we know then that you believe in that.
I not only believe in it, I don't put my name on it unless I'm really involved.
And you actually go out and are hands-on?
I'm hands-on. I'm definitely hands-on, yes. I'm interested also in the mission of hope for the homeless. And that has nothing to do with art, but it's something that is close to my heart, and I feel happy to contribute to that. And how that happened was just a fluke, and it just evolved into something that I've been contributing in some way to the Star of Hope Mission for the Homeless for, I think, 15 years.
I heard a story of how you actually really were hands-on with that one time.
Yes, exactly. We bought a van that one of the driver of this van is a former homeless person, and he goes around and distributes coffee and distributes blankets to the homeless. In fact, they call it the Love in Action van. And every day it comes at a special time and distributes sandwiches and if it's cold. And this driver knows exactly where the homeless people live because they're either under a bridge or somewhere. And he goes there. And one time I said, we bought them actually 2 trucks. And one time I said, I really want to go with you. And I did, and it was a great experience.
Yeah.
I did more than once, yeah. And I handed out food to the children, and, that means more to me than the money.
Is it hard sometimes to get people to realize that? To get other people involved, to tell them the joy of this is going to come from actually seeing the good you're doing?
I don't care. I don't tell them that. I do it for what it does for me and what it hopefully helps the community, but I never tell someone to give money because of et cetera, et cetera.
For people who, there are so many fundraisers out there and so many organizations that are needing funds, what is your advice to them then to get people involved? If you say, I don't tell them what they have to do, how is it then that you get the message across to people to get involved? What is your secret for doing it?
I think it has to come from your own heart, what your heart dictates. I'm very interested in the arts and in the cultural arts. I've been on the board of the Museum of Fine Arts. I've been the vice chairman of the Houston Grand Opera for many years. I'm head of the artistic committee of the Houston Ballet. I'm on the Princess Grace Foundation USA, and this. There's lots of things. The Houston Forum, which is an intellectual kind of thing. And I think it's just what appeals to one. Now, to go ask for money for that, I think that everyone has their own niche and everyone has their own pet charity. And so when someone turns me down, I understand because I turn them down too.
Take me back to where all of this started for you. Was it in your upbringing?
Yes. My parents always taught me to give back to the community and give to people that are less fortunate than I am. And so I don't tell myself that. It's just something that was inbred in me, and I feel that's important.
Same with your children?
Same with my children.
So it just kind of, they were surrounded with it. There's no escaping it in some way, I guess.
Well, they're used to Mommy having causes.
Now, there's a question that I was asking people leading into doing this interview, and I think the best person probably to answer this would be you.
Oh.
No need to be scared. There are so many people that you have gotten to know through your works, and yet in a lot of these organizations, I see people come together and go apart. It seems with you, you become true friends with them. And I wonder, what is it in you that makes this work? Why is it that you are in the circles you're in? And it's not you're just there. You are true friends with these people. What is in your personality you think that makes this all happen?
Well, thank you, Ernie. I think I respect the privacy of someone that is really, really famous. And I never take advantage of that stepping over the line. I'm very, very natural. That's not the point. I never, if somebody says, would you ask such and such to come and sing for me or something like that. They might do it for me, but I'm not going to have them, I'm not going to take advantage where they would have to do it for someone else. I learned that the hard way, too. Then I go to ask them, well, Lynn, I thought I was doing this for you. Well, no, it was really for a friend of mine, you know. But I think the answer is that I respect their privacy, and I never, I put myself in their shoes in just being a human being and knowing what they have to live with and knowing what they have to go through. I mean, I can really understand that, and I think for 30 years I've been friends with some of these people.
Yeah.
You know.
Does it get hard to have the name Lynn Wyatt?
I don't think of myself as somebody that famous or that special, really.
Yeah. Does it get odd to pick up a magazine, though, and see yourself in it? Or do you get used to that after a while?
Well, I think one gets used to that, yes. I think one gets used to that, but I think that if you start believing your own press, you're in trouble. I mean, if people think, well, people will see me at a party, a picture taken at a party, and they think that, well, she just must go all over the world to go to parties or something. It's only because they don't take my picture when I'm at home the most of the time with my husband having dinner, you know, just the two of us, because I realized long ago that if I didn't have that private time with my family, you know, I wouldn't be married already for a jillion years.
But you have to say, you do go to your fair share of parties.
Oh, yes. Listen, I have fun. I think that famous saying, you know, you're only here once in life, and if you live it right, once is enough.
Very nice. Very good. You've come to, in a lot of ways, though, represent not just Texas, but Americans when you travel abroad. And I wonder, in light of what's happened politically in recent years, does that make it more difficult? Do you find that your job out there is to help explain where we're at as a country?
Yes. Yes. A lot of people ask me that. A lot of people ask my views on things. And it's interesting because I have to speak for myself. I can't speak just as America and for my fellow Americans. But I just feel like we're in this together. I mean the whole world, the whole universe. And I think the most important lesson that I have learned is to have an open mind. I might be talking to someone that totally disagrees with what my view is, but I am so happy to learn from the person who is explaining his view. Mm-hmm. And very often, you know, I'll ask a question, and then I'll ask another question. Very often I'll turn him around, but many times he turns me around.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of communication is so important, because we can't just live in our own world today. The world is very small, number one, and number two, to grow. In order to grow, you have to listen to what someone else that you disagree with has to say, and think about why they or where they're coming from. Mm-hmm. Then you sort of understand where they're coming from.
Have you found it different since, let's say, 9/11, the reaction you get when you travel abroad, or has this been going on for a while?
The day after 9/11, I mean, we had the whole world just in our hands, really. I mean, everyone, I was in the south of France, and everyone was coming up to me saying, oh my goodness, you know, we're all Americans. We all feel that this could happen to us. And even there was a beautiful memorial in Monte Carlo at this big, beautiful church. And when I walked into the church, everyone was given a candle that was an unlit candle. And we took it to our seat, and we went through the service. And there was this very, very large, I mean 3 times larger than this, photograph of the Twin Towers on the altar. And at a certain time during the end, and Prince Rainier and the Prince Hereditaire, Prince Albert of Monaco, and Princess Caroline, and all the royal family, their Serene Highnesses, were sitting right in front of me. And it was so moving because people were filling up that church. It was just overflowing. And everyone was given this candle. At the end of the service, we all walked up in a single line, and they lit our candles. And we all put our candles on the altar. Oh, I could cry thinking of it. It was so beautiful. It was the coming together of what we're about, you know?
Have we lost that now?
I think we have lost it. I think we have lost a little bit of it because I feel like people don't know exactly where we're coming from, but we need to understand where they're coming from. And I just think we need to have an open mind.
Yeah.
I'm not disagreeing, but I'm just saying that that it's hard to disagree with your own government because you don't know all the things that we don't know about.
Right.
And so it's hard to disagree that they might know something that we don't know. But we still have our hearts, and our soldiers are over there fighting, and it's changed the world. It's definitely changed the world. And we're in a different place. I remember when we had to go through something, you know, when the airplanes first started checking your bags. I mean, that was so offensive to so many people. You thought, what have we come to? What is this? What? And we never can go back. So once that's happened, you never think that you're going to be able to go back. Mm-hmm. But who knows? You know, I mean.
Yeah. A lot of people say we lost our innocence at that point.
Yes, exactly.
You mentioned the royal family, and as I understand it, you were friends with Princess Grace?
Yes.
After she had passed away, there was, of course, a lot of news stories and stuff. Was there foul play and all of that going on? You zip ahead now to Princess Di, her accident and death, and then the question, was there foul play? What does that tell you about human nature, the way we react to these kind of losses?
I think somebody like Princess Grace, that was so loved, as well as Princess Diana, the Princess of Wales, was so loved by so many people that never even knew her, that never even saw her in public, only saw her pictures, only saw, you know, television or something, that it was such a shock that people actually go into shock, like when the president was assassinated. I mean, people go into shock, and the next thing that your brain starts doing is you start thinking, why? Why did this happen? How did this come about? What happened? And in order to make sense to somebody's brain, they'll say, well, it just, that couldn't have happened normally. Mm-hmm. You know, there must have been foul play. And then someone will say, there must have been foul play. And then someone hears that as saying, there was foul play. And the next thing you know, it's all over the headlines. Well, you know. But I really think that that's how people that are loved that much, it's hard to acknowledge their death.
Yeah. How do you react to that then, being a friend with one of these people and then seeing all of this that comes from it? It must make it much harder, especially to grieve the loss of a friend, I would think.
Oh, it does. I mean, I was in New York when Princess Grace died, and it was such a horrible shock. And actually, she was coming to stay with me. It was in September, and she was coming to stay with me in September. And it was such a shock that you don't know how you're going to react when something startling happens and tragic. And I got up and I was crying all the day. And the next 2 days, I couldn't even get myself out of the bed. And I didn't realize that I couldn't get myself out of the bed. I just started turning on movies and anything, not because I felt like I had to distract myself from the subject, but that it just sort of was like a robot, you know? I mean, I just turned it on and I was sort of glazing at it, and everybody was calling me, and people that didn't even know her wrote letters to me because that was a connection that they felt like they had to express their love for her and how elegant she was and how beautiful she was. And they didn't know anybody else at that time that knew her, so that I got the most beautiful letters from people, and I answered every single one of them because I knew that their heart was breaking, and I couldn't satisfy that hurt.
Mm-hmm. How did you get over it? I mean, for people to understand the grief process, what did you use to help you get through moments like that?
Time.
Time.
Because, no one like that can be replaced. Well, no one body can be replaced ever, and so especially when it's a dear friend and when it's somebody that is well known, it's twice as hard because it just keeps going on and on and on and on and on. And that funeral was so poignant and so heart-rendering.
What are the things in your life that give you that smile, that make you just come alive?
Oh, listen, a lot of things. I love to laugh. I mean...
I've heard stories about your laugh. There it is.
No, I mean, really, if someone were to say, well, what is your motto? I mean, I would say laugh a lot. Laugh a lot, love a lot, and live life as an adventure.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that means that if something happens to you, you look at it as an adventure. You look at it, well, what am I going to learn about this? And you look at it, if you turn it around and think of it as an adventure, somehow some crisis isn't as horrifying.
What challenges face you on the horizon? What are the things that you're looking at? You say, I want to try that. I want to conquer that. Anything in particular?
No, I don't. When I was younger, I used to have a long list. I mean, I wanted to jump out of an airplane. I wanted to go hang gliding. I wanted to do all these adventurous things because I love sports, and I have 4 sons, and I guess a mother raising 4 sons had to be a bit adventurous anyway. But I mean, I was always running races with them, and always, going shooting and going to the North Pole. I went to the North Pole. So I love adventure. So I don't think of something that I haven't conquered. Because if you think of that, you can self prophesize where something does happen. But on the other side, something comes along that comes in the way of that, and you're on another road totally. So just let it happen. It's going to happen. Whatever.
How far ahead do you book yourself? You must have a calendar that's just amazingly filled.
Yes, but I have a husband that doesn't know what a calendar means. So I will say, are we available? Can you be with me for such and such, I mean, 2 weeks to him is oh, well, that's just eons away. That's just an eternity. I said, well, honey, we have to give an answer to this party that's in New York, or this dinner that's some, head of state or something or whatever. And then sometime at the last minute he changes his mind. He travels a lot himself. And so I always say, listen, I feel like I'm married to a doctor.
Has it been a fun life?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. It's been a fun life. But I think it's fun because I like fun.
Yeah.
It's fun because, I'm optimistic about things. And it's fun because I love to have fun.
Yeah. What are your favorite things to do? If it's just your time
Everything.
and you're free. Everything?
Everything.
Can you narrow it down a little, or is it all just an adventure? What is your...
somebody will say, well... if I'm in Monte Carlo or if I'm in the south of France or if I'm in, I don't know where, well, are you homesick or do you miss, or when I'm home, don't you wish that you were back? No, I'm happy where I am. I'm happy exactly where I am.
Is that part of the key to the success of it all?
I don't know. I don't think of it like that. I just think that that's the way it is.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, then you're thinking about it. Then it's not true. You have to, if you don't concentrate about it. I mean, I love to have fun. I love to have fun with my friends. I don't feel like I need people to be around. I'm happy with my own company. I can read my books. I can do things. I never think of that.
Yeah. Well, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to sit down.
Is time up already? My goodness, we're not even getting started.
Well, then you'll have to come back and do this again sometime with us.
Thank you.
Lynn Wyatt, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Lynn Wyatt. To order a transcript, call 866-652-3378 or send $6.95 to the address on your screen. Please include the name of the guest.